Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morale Booster with John Ughulu. And today I have with me an entrepreneur. He is a motivational speaker. He is an author. His name is Rex Witkamp. Rex, thank you for joining me on the program.
Most definitely, John. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for this opportunity to serve your audience.
My pleasure. So before I return the stage back to you, Rex, I just want to say this to my listeners. For those of you listening and watching this program, please remember to share this on your network, and feel free to always send questions you have. All right. So Rex, thank you once again. My listeners are eager to know who you are and what you do. So please tell us who you are and what you do.
Yes, sir. Thank you once again for this opportunity. My name is Captain Rex Witkamp, and I am a speaker. I describe myself as a hardworking entrepreneurial dreamer with a compassionate and positive spirit. I consider myself a fearless champion, and I'm faithful and I'm passionate about showing people how it's possible to lead a life of design and instead of being led around in life by default. So I'm a father, I'm a brother, I'm a husband, I'm a dog owner. I'm just a common man doing uncommon things with my life. I am an entrepreneur, and I consider myself a philosophical thought leader. Innovation and inspiration are main goals in my life, and I like to lead others to understand and to use their true potential, and that is my calling.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great presentation. I like that. Okay, so you are an entrepreneur. Have you always been one, or were you formerly an employee who later evolved, who transitioned into becoming an entrepreneur?
I made the transition, and I don't believe most people start off being an entrepreneur. And I believe the first job I ever had was being a newspaper delivery boy, riding my bike as a first job. But I think to answer this question, John, it's important that we look at the definition of what an entrepreneur is. And I took some time to save you some trouble here. And I've looked up Webster defines an entrepreneur as one who organizes, manages, and assumes the risks of a business or an enterprise. And I would argue here that we are all organizing, managing, and assuming risks in our own lives. Right. So by default, we are considered entrepreneurs. And I think if we look at ourselves as a brand or a business or an enterprise, then by default, we fit that definition. So one has to first believe that in purpose, that they lead their life by design instead of by default. Everyone is successful, yet only a few will admit it. And success is on the minds of every entrepreneur out there, and it's part of what makes them not sleep at night. And the success they should be adhered to, the definition should be driving them forward. It should be the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And I've trained my mind to commit to the progressive realization of my worthy ideal, and knowing that I have everything that it takes in order to make things work, which is what I've done with my life. So therefore, I am who I believe I am, and that is the entrepreneur for this arena, for this field.
That's awesome. That's a great one. So for those of you listening right now, I want you to get warmed up for the whole thing, because you're going to learn so many things from Captain Rex. Okay, so Rex, what motivated you to become a speaker?
Well, a lot of things. I think that the culmination of my life experience and the ability to reach others with my story, it has led to significant moments in my life which have never been forgotten. And moving forward, I'm reminded of a quote by Theodore Roosevelt, who says, "Far better is it to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to take rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy much nor suffer much, because they live in a gray twilight that knows neither victory nor defeat." I decided early on in my business career, I wasn't going to be one of these poor spirits. I felt I had some value to the world. And even though as an employer, many of us as being employed as an employee, many of us feel that we're not getting our value out of the workforce and out of their career. And so far better is it to take a chance on yourself, to believe that you have to understand and know your value before anybody else does. And that kind of edged me into becoming and fulfilling my purpose as an entrepreneur. And in life, it's best, I've realized over the years as an entrepreneur, it's best not to strive for success. It's better to strive for significance. And that's way, way more important than success. And I've made impact on the lives of people throughout my career and in my life. And that made all the difference to me. And it's like Robert Frost, who said, 2 roads diverge in a yellow wood. And I chose the path least traveled. And that made all the difference to me. And this life is about making a difference. It's about, looking at your challenges of life and being able to overcome, feeling the fear and doing it anyway. And I like to say that I didn't choose my line of business. I believe it chose me. And it's my passion, my calling, and my purpose. Therefore, it's a lot easier.
That's correct. That's a brilliant one. And to all my listeners, if you have heard what Rex just said, he mentioned passion. He mentioned impacting lives. So what is it that you have within you that you can convert from that passion to impacting lives? So it's always good to always sit down, reassess your life, reassess what you're doing, and ask yourself, am I passionate about what I'm doing? Because passion is the main driver. Am I correct, Rex?
You're absolutely correct, John. One must ask themselves in any situation that they find themselves in, either in a relationship or a choice of work, or a line or a career. Not what is it that they're doing there, but who are they becoming because of this relationship? The same holds true in a personal relationship, but also in the professional field. That you must ask yourself, what am I becoming by working here, devoting my time, devoting my life and my time and my career, because time is more and more valuable than money. Absolutely. And if you spend 40 years at a career for an employer and then attempt to retire on 40% of your income, that philosophy has long gone, died years ago. That is an industrial age philosophy. It doesn't work anymore. And 40% of your salary these days doesn't cut it. So as an entrepreneur, we have a great gift, a great understanding that we have unlimited potential. And that is really the true magnet to which great people will adhere. And one of the core values of why they do what it is that they do.
Absolutely, that's correct. I like that too. Okay, so what challenges did you encounter, while you were first?
Well, that's a loaded question. Many the challenges are at times overwhelming. When you begin to venture off on your own and do something that you've never done before, you quickly realize you have to become someone and something that you've never been before. Absolutely. And so, like, going back to my earlier point, none of us are born to be entrepreneurs, but we find out with a little work on you, anything is possible. And so the challenges for me, they became, looking at my skill set and determining what skills do I currently possess that can overcome any given challenge. Yeah. And then I found that if I did not have a skill that I needed to overcome any challenge, it would just be a matter of becoming resourceful. So the skill became how to become more resourceful. And in the end, that determines and leads you to a skill that is used to overcome your challenges. And then in the end, the why for doing anything, it determines one's ability to overcome any of the hows. And so Nietzsche said, if you know your reason why, you can overcome any how. And how should never be a part of the equation for anyone's business model to determine as an entrepreneur, how am I going to get the funding? How am I going to get the employees? How am I going to sell this product? It should not be part of the reasoning behind your thinking. It should be focused on why you're selling this product. Why is it that you're in business? Why are you doing the things and taking the actions that you are? Because you should have an end goal in mind, and you should lead with that. And, like again, Teddy Roosevelt, who said, you have to do what you can from where you're at with what you've got, and never be satisfied. And it's that restless spirit of an entrepreneur that is never satisfied that keeps them driving and transitioning and beating out all the storms of your business. And the rain is the same on everybody. Okay. For the bright side of the equation for most businesses is that if it's a successful business or if it's not a successful business, the bright side of all of recorded history is that the storyline always repeats itself. You see, there's opportunity, and it's always, always, always mixed with difficulty. And there is no reward without some risk involved. You have to be willing to take the risk. That's what our definition is as entrepreneurs. Thousands of years have passed, and it's always, always been the same. Before your daytime, there's a nighttime. And before your springtime, there's a winter. Absolutely. Before your sun is shining, there's a rain. Okay. And before you can win, you have to know what it is to get defeated. And thousands of years, always the same. And the thing we have to understand is you have to learn to take advantage. Take advantage of your moments of your daytime, your springtime, your sunshine, and your winning, because this is our greatest moment. We must ask ourselves, what will we do with this moment?
That's a good one. I love that.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
It makes a whole lot of sense. That's how it should be, And
that's right.
Well, for those of you who are currently listening, this is Captain Rex again. He is so full of fire. He has so much fire to spit out right now that will touch the soul. I know he's resonating with you right now as you are listening to this program. Frank Roosevelt said, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. This is the time for you who is listening to this program now to stand up and take action towards your dreams.
Absolutely.
You are waiting for somebody to come and push you. Trust me, you're going to wait for eternity. It won't happen. It is you who will take your dreams by force and move it to the next level. All right. So I know we're all going through a tough time right now, but it is what exactly it is. This is not the point for us to start crying over spilled milk, but we should be looking for a solution. So Rex, I've got a question for you. Now that due to the current paradigm shift in terms of the whole world, the pandemic and everything, what's your advice to people who have lost hope, people who have lost their jobs, people who have lost their loved ones, who have, run out of business? What's your advice to them right now?
The advice I could tell them is we're in the same situation. And look, we're at a point in time where we've never been before in humanity. We have 50 million people out of work in the United States. We have to look at that not as a defeating situation and a circumstance, because once you hold your tenets true of your core beliefs that tell you have to tell yourself your current situation and your circumstance, it doesn't define you. People may feel anxiety and failure, but that is not the measure of a person. People cannot be failures at being themselves. Yeah. People are not failures because failure is an event, not a person. Right. All right. So what we should focus on is how to propel our businesses to disrupting the traditional thought patterns. And if it's always going to be the same, that means no change in our thinking has occurred. We have to begin by thinking differently because we're in a different time and a different age. And at this time, we should take the opportunity to rise above mediocrity. Mediocrity is everywhere. Look, if you look on the street, there's pigeons and chickens are everywhere. But if you want to find an eagle, it's going to take a minute. It's a rare breed. And that's why when people see a bald eagle in the air, they point it out. They say, look, that's a bald eagle. That's how you have to think of yourself in this new economy. You have to be the change that you want to see, and you have to learn to rise above that mediocrity mindset. So in this pandemic, three types of people will emerge. You're going to have millionaires, okay? Then you're going to have billionaires, and then you're going to have the witnesses that are left to pick up the pieces. And while most of society and most of businesses, they'll take this time to blame their circumstances, and because it'll directly challenge their ability to grow and to think. And most people are unsuccessful because they just don't take the time to stop and think, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? And that growth is uncomfortable. And so 97% of people operate in the comfort zone, okay? Only 3% of the people operate in the effective zone. And the difference between the two is growth, and growth is uncomfortable. So George Bernard Shaw said that the people that are always blaming their circumstances for what they are, and this is what we have a circumstance, but don't blame the circumstance. And I personally don't believe in circumstances. Okay, he said that the people that get on in this world are the people that get up and look for the circumstances that they want. And if they can't find them, they go create them. This time more than ever, it's important, it's crucial, vital to our success in our lives and in our personal and professional lives that we dig deep and we start to create. It's best to use this time as an advantage, as a bonus, as a mulligan, if you will. If you're a golfer, you get the mulligan, you hit a shot, it goes off the course. This is your mulligan in life. You get this time to invest in yourself and become one of those two people at the beginning that emerge instead of that last one.
That's good. That's a good one. That's so inspirational. So I know you have already uplifted someone out there. And if that person is you, I want you to remember that tough times do not last. Only tough people do. That's what Robert Schuller said. All right? Do not see what's going on as the end of the world. Oh, that's my man.
I love that book.
Yeah.
You can't see it. There it is.
Never last, but tough people
That's an absolutely game changer. Great book reference.
That's it. So it's up to you. You know, it's up to you to decide if you see an opportunity in what is going on in the world right now, or if you see it as a difficulty. Because in every difficulty, there is an opportunity. So we need to know all that and re-strategize. Come up with a strategy. You must have a strategy. Lots of talking without having a strategy, without action, is zero. Okay? So, Rex, where do you see your business in the, based on this same paradigm shift? How do you intend to take your gigs to the next level? I know right now it's difficult to get a lot of outdoor speaking, everything is online right now. What are your plans?
Well, again, the paradigm shift is created because of a current situation. And that situation has fostered an opportunity for people to understand that we must take this time to invest in ourselves. And so personally, I've been doing much more of the personal investment than prior. I'm a man of self-growth and self-development anyway, but this is a great time to be able to dig in and understand the fundamentals of the capabilities and the limits of your capabilities right now. And if you exceed, or if you get to a point where you cannot exceed your skill, then it's time to keep polishing that skill until you can't get it wrong. And as a previous fireman in a fire service, we would have a saying that said, you can never train too hard for a job that can kill you. And don't train until you get it right, train until you can't get it wrong. And that holds true as well with personal growth. There's no end point to this. There's no end point to the ability and the time that you must invest in yourselves to begin to hone your skills. Another big factor for success during these times is learning more about the online tools and platforms that are available and necessary. All of a sudden, everybody knows how to hold a Zoom meeting, whereas last year Zoom may have been on some people, it wasn't on some people's radar.
Right.
So take the time to understand where the current state of the world is and start to begin to learn increase your knowledge, your skills and abilities in the arena of where we are now and where it's headed. And there are some innovators who have learned to solve problems through, you've heard of cluster thinking and how people can brainstorm. Well, this is like an idea storm where people get together and they try to solve a problem based on discussing ideas. And the innovators that rise to the top in these meetings, people like Bill Gates, people like Steve Jobs and the founders of IBM and Apple and major corporations, they solve problems with a sight and a vision down the road 5 years. So if you were to ask yourself, put yourself in a time machine, 200 years in the future, who would look at this time as an opportunity and absolutely attack the opportunity with every chance that is possible to be able to maximize this time? Because in the future, there will have risen to the top people that have taken this opportunity to do something with it. And then you can look backwards in your time machine and go back, 200 years and say, how would people back then solve this problem right now? And so just by mentally putting yourself in a time machine to go forwards in time and backwards in time, it can help you adjust your thinking for the current state of the world where we are right now. And that's highly important to have a vision forwards and backwards. So that's going to help, and then lastly, I'll just say that an important note to mention here is this is difficult. This is very, very hard and challenging on a lot of people. Right. So it's very important to know who you can count on. Who is your most trusted advisor in this time? You can try to solve some problems alone, but there are many problems that we can overcome together. And there are other people that can shed insight in your cause. And it's best that you reach out to them and at least get a point of view moving forwards.
That's a good one. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So, Rex, would you want to talk to us about your book?
In the past, I wrote a book that was, it was basically motivating the workforce to succeed. And I'm a man of many careers and backgrounds that has gotten me to the level in my life now. I saw the opportunity to create a website with a PDF download and make an online version of the book. And then when you try and succeed, you're going to fail. And that's the most basic requirement of success is to fail early and fail often. And as like many of us have understood to know that Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, but he never invented it. He found 1,000 ways that didn't work. In that point in time, it was not a platform I had researched enough, and that product never went anywhere. But those ideas, that experience, that investment in myself to be able to coalesce those thoughts into a book were very informative and educational. So I had a roommate once who said, once you figure out how to do something, now you can template and whiteboard that idea and move forward with the same plan. And so if one thing didn't work, you learn what didn't work, and then you move on from there. So I have more material in the works, and now that book has now transferred into ideas that are being pushed into a program, a project that I have, moving into the online forum, which is more relevant today. Right. And those courses are now coming available on Teachable. Through my website, I'm going to create a link there, and it's going to be one of the offerings that I have. And that's part of readjusting and staying flexible with the current times. And there's one thing that scares me is the old ways of thinking. Because some people are afraid of change, but the thing that scares me the worst is not changing. And that is a guaranteed point in life, is that things will change, and how flexible you are is going to determine your level of ability to overcome your challenges.
Absolutely. You said it all. And, Les Brown, who is my mentor, said, In life, there are winners, there are losers, and there are those who haven't even learned how to win. Failure, they say,
Right.
is evidence of work in progress. So you have to fail your way to success. When you fail at a particular task, it doesn't mean that's the end of the world. It's just an experience gained, and you can never buy experience. So if you're listening to me right now and you've always had that fear of failure, trust me, it means you haven't even learned how to win. Because for you to be a winner, you must first of all go through trying times. That's why Les Brown also said, when life knocks you down, remember to fall on your back. Try to fall on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. Let your reason get you back up. Always have a reason, and always remember that failure is an evidence of work in progress. If you do not start, you will not fail. And if you have started, you will fail at some point. Do not give up. It is the ability for you to get up after that failure that really matters. All right. Thank you very much. Rex, thank you. You've been a wonderful guest. So would you want to talk to us about how people can reach you?
Absolutely. So if you go to my website here, it's rexwitkamp.com. You can reach out and just inquire about how to engage in a conversation and begin to open discussions and reach out to me. I'm also available on social media, and my links are there below that sign there where it says everyone matters. It's a mantra of mine, because everybody has value, whether they know it or not. There is something that everyone came to the universe to accomplish. Everyone has a mission. And the goal in life is to bring out and understand, help people achieve that potential, because the rest of us are already waiting. You mentioned limiting beliefs and fears and how people are anxious about the future. Well, it's challenging. And when you make a decision, you decide to make a decision to venture on your own and become your entrepreneur, your own boss, and you want to fulfill some sort of life passion, your success is guaranteed in the end. Because you have in you what it takes already, and you can't be denied for being who you are. And so many people go through these challenges of life trying and attempting to be something they're not, and they end up in failure each time. But again, they need to realize that end point of what they consider as failure is just the opportunity to keep trying and keep pursuing their potential, because they have it in them already. A lot of people are sleeping, going through life, not understanding and knowing this. And so I'm available through all those avenues online, and I would love to hear from your audience and help discuss their wins, discuss their passions and their purposes in life, and collaborate.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Rex. Thank you so much. So let me give this closing remark. So if you're listening right now, I just want to reassure you that you've got greatness in you. I want to reassure you that if you've got dreams, this is the time for you to get up and take action. Greg Reed said, a dream written down with timelines becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. A plan backed with action makes your dreams come true. This is the time for you to take action. Malcolm X also said, the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. I know you are prepared. This is the time for you to take action. And once again, I want to remind you to please share this message until that person who has been waiting for eternity to receive this message and to learn from this message receives it. I expect that you share this amongst your network. So thank you all for listening. And Rex, thank you for joining me on the program. I hope when next I call you, you would come on board the program.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for this opportunity, John. It's great to hear from you.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye.